Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impressions and demo of the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. I have mine in the shade Porcelain, and this retails for $25. I got mine at Ulta. So this is the lightest shade that they had available at Ulta, though I believe they came out with some lighter ones on the actual Anastasia Beverly Hills site. So we will see if this is actually light enough for my skin tone. I apologize for the lighting. I tried to angle you guys the best way that I could for the best lighting, but let's go ahead and get started. So first off, this is the packaging. Beautiful, it feels really sturdy. This actually, I think it's plastic, but it felt like metal for a minute. This, I believe, is metal, however, and it is rose gold, and this is how much product you actually get in the foundation. So I've only ever tried one other foundation stick, and it's the Maybelline Fit Me, and I actually really enjoy that foundation. However, I feel like that gives me, even though it is a shine-free sort of foundation, it does get a little oily on my skin by the end of the day. But this actually is formulated for oily skin, so we will see if that actually holds true. So I do have my skincare on. I have a relatively a thicker moisturizer on my skin, and I am actually going to prime my skin with a couple primers, one of which is this little Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. It is a more moisturizing primer, and I feel like with a stick foundation, that's probably going to be the way to go. And then I also am going to use a little bit of the Benefit Professional to sort of fill my pores, because this hydrating primer doesn't do that, as it is silicone free. So pat that into my skin. Okay, and then a little bit of the little baby Benefit Professional as well. Just going to focus that in the areas that I have more noticeable pores, which is about here and up here, and then a little bit on my chin as well. Just patting that in. Okay, so now for the foundation. Again, I got the lightest shade, which is the shade Porcelain. I don't know if you can actually see that, but I'm just gonna, I brought a couple different methods of application, a couple different brushes and my beauty blender, and we shall see which one works best. I am just going to apply directly to my face though, which I don't love about foundations, because I do have breakouts on my chin almost always. Oh boy, this might not be light enough. We will see when it blends out, I suppose. What do we think? 3 lines? This might even be too much. I don't really know. I'm trying to avoid the active breakouts anyway. All right, well, I guess we'll just see how this goes, and if I need more, we will add it. So I do have a little mirror with me, so I'm not staring into the viewfinder. I'm going to start out with this well, let's start out with, I'll start with the beauty blender on my forehead and see how that works at blending this. Okay, so I feel like the beauty blender actually just sort of sucks up product. I don't know that it actually blended all that well into my skin. So nixing the beauty blender, we're going to try sort of a more rounded top brush that's not super densely packed. Okay. For that side of my face. It actually blended out really nicely, and it's not as full coverage as I would have expected. I think I'm going to actually finish with this one on the side of the face as well. I also brought more of a flat top angled brush, but I think I'm actually just going to continue to use this guy instead. Alright, so that is one layer, I guess. Alright, so that is the one layer of the foundation. I didn't put it under my eyes because I usually go in with as little product as possible under my eyes, because I am prone to creasing. So I will say it did sort of sink into my pores, even though I used a little bit of that Professional primer. Let's see if I sort of pat that out, if that will help. It did get a little cakey over there, but again, I'm sort of blending everything back out. All right. So I'm not sure how we feel about it on camera. It looks actually pretty surprisingly natural on my skin for how thick that went on. I'm going to do another layer just to see how we can build it up. Maybe not a full layer, but just sort of where I need it most. Okay. Now let's see how this builds up. Whew. Hair in my eyeballs. I have multiple clips in my hair today trying to keep this hair out of my face. My hair is at a really awkward length, so it doesn't want to sort of stay up. So multiple clips it was. Okay, this actually blends out really nicely to my skin tone. I thought it was going to be a little bit more yellow toned, but it's actually very nice. It blends really naturally into my skin. I actually sort of, in the sun, I see a little bit of a glow even though this is meant for more oily or oil-prone skin types. Whew. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I don't think I love that. I think I preferred it more with just one layer, but it wasn't super full coverage. I am going to sort of take my Beauty Blender and just sort of blend over some things. Or my whole face, not just some things, just to see if that'll sort of help with some of the issues I'm having with sort of sinking into my pores and cakiness and whatnot. All right, so that is, what do we say, like 1.5 layers of the foundation on my skin. I'm going to go put on the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back to fill you guys in on my first impressions and sort of final thoughts of this foundation. I will be filming a follow-up, as I usually do with first impressions for foundations, in about a week or so of continuous use of the foundation. That way I can give you my actual final thoughts and not just sort of a couple hours of wear. But stay tuned, I'll be right back with a full face. Alright guys, so we are back, and I have a full face or a simple face of makeup on today. I didn't put any sort of coverage powder on top of my face, like a powder foundation or anything. I just set everything with a light dusting of a translucent powder, specifically the concealer under my eyes, like I said, which tends to crease on me, but then I'm just light dusting everywhere else as well. Then just a sort of a couple shades of really neutral light shadows and a simple base of the Benefit They're Real Tinted Primer, which I love and just use as a mascara on simple makeup days like this. Also, a little bit of bronzer, and I'm trying out the Essence like single shadow in Snowflake or Sparkling Snow or something. I'll put it down below. But as a highlight, and I've heard it's a dupe for Becca's Pearl, and I'm digging it on my cheekbone. So we shall see by the end of the night how that looks. But let's go ahead and talk about the actual foundation. So it actually looks really, really natural on the skin. I mean, I didn't put any concealer is the word that I'm looking for. I didn't put any concealer or anything on my spots down my chin, so you can see the actual level of coverage that it gives. And I'm actually pretty pleased. I don't prefer full coverage foundation, so this is actually sort of a nice medium coverage, I guess, or medium to buildable coverage. And it's not sinking terribly into my one like expression line that I have up here that's starting to form at 25. It's not sinking in there too terribly, but it is a little. Pores wise, once I sort of blended it all out with my beauty blender after I did buff everything in with a brush, I have not had a problem with pores, or with the product sinking into my pores rather. It looks like it might be starting to sink into or emphasize this one sort of smile line that I have. Again, I'm only 25, what's going on? But that could be that I'm just dehydrated. I haven't really had a lot of water today, and that does tend to actually affect my skin quite a lot. So that is sort of a first impressions and demo of this little foundation. I'm actually pretty much enjoying it so far. Of course, sometimes I'll say I hate it and then I end up loving it. And sometimes I say it's actually really good and then I end up hating it. So we shall see when I film my follow-up how I actually feel about this little guy. I was actually really worried about the color because if you actually look at the color, it looks a little bit more yellow toned than my skin, but it blended out beautifully. And I hoped it would because it does say on the website that Porcelain is the shade Fair with neutral undertones, not warm or cool. So it was a little bit yellow for that sort of neutral claim, but it blended out pretty nicely with my skin. So that is it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know down below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.